Joining me now to discuss this and more is Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. She serves on several very important committees in the House, including the Ways and Means Committee, as well as the Select Committee on Intelligence. She does represent New York, the 24th Congressional District there. Congresswoman Tenney, welcome back to Washington Watch. Always great to have you.
Great to be on. Great to see you.
Okay, so last week, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was criticized heavily when he told a reporter that when it comes to the shutdown, every day gets better for us. And of course, we're assuming us would be referring to the Democrats in his mind. Well, today, President Trump says that the Democrats are literally getting killed politically by this ongoing shutdown. So what is it, if anything, that the Democrats think they're gaining in this?
Well, it's interesting. I just heard you show the clip of President Trump, and I think it's really instructive to listen to what the Democrats are actually saying and doing. So, I'm from New York, so we are, hopefully going to avert a massive danger, which is going to be the election of Zohran Mamdani as the mayor of the city of New York, which unfortunately looks like it's probably going to happen. The other thing is the Democrats are actually, looking for some cause to counter Trump. And this theory was posed actually by Nate Cohn, who's the political analyst for the New York Times. And they're not left-leaning or right-leaning at all. They're left-leaning and, in fact, absurdly so at times. But he pointed out something interesting, and they did a poll that last year only 1% of Americans actually are concerned about their health care. And so the Democrats know that's not the big issue, but they've used this moment to create this crisis, to focus attention on health care, to say that they want to add to this continuing resolution their own funding, because it's a moment that they can shine a spotlight, they can get a lot of attention, they can use this game or gimmick to get people back on health care on issues that they've traditionally been good at. And this is argued by this Nate Cohn in his article. Well, what's interesting is his base, they just want to counter Trump. Anything Trump does, they want to go against him. But the American people actually support a lot of Trump's policies, talking about taking biological males out of women's sports, ending the DEI and going to merit-based systems, dealing with the border and sealing the border and making sure that we're respecting our own citizens and making sure that they're able to prosper, getting dangerous illegal cartel members out of our communities. Those things that President Trump is doing, along with, oh, by the way, probably the most important Middle East peace deal in the entire world and probably in history, happening yesterday with President Trump in a real spectacle. And where are the Free Palestine people today? You know what they're doing? They're out there complaining that they still aren't getting enough, and then they're not for the ceasefire until Palestine gets everything they want. Palestine, the Palestine Plight Industrial Complex, as I call it, driven by Iran, Hamas, to disrupt the Middle East. When yesterday you saw all these Middle Eastern leaders saying, enough, we want peace and prosperity. That's what we want. And that's why I think the Democrats are losing on this, because people are like, you want to add $1.5 trillion when we're $37 trillion in debt and we're spending $2 trillion more a year than we're actually taking in. And our revenues, as you said, I serve on the Ways and Means Committee. We have the highest revenues into the U.S. Treasury than we have ever had in the history of this country. And yet we're overspending and we're seeing this huge deficit. People want to see us prosper. And President Trump knows that our greatest strength is our economic strength, our economic dominance, and, a strong military, and projecting that strength, which is why he was able to do what he was able to do yesterday on the world stage with so many leaders of so many different countries with divergent views.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on with that, Congresswoman. And, you look at all of this, the Democrats, I think, are getting hammered with all of this. And at the same time, their ridiculous demands, as you say, of another $1.5 trillion. But while they are demanding that, the president, really, for many of us, a silver lining in all of this is eliminating most recently the Office of Population Affairs, which is an agency heavily responsible for funding Planned Parenthood and pushing all sorts of sexualized material on our kids. But the president is releasing a lot of people. The government is shrinking while the Democrats continue trying to push for what you're referring to is just things that are just simply not going to happen.
And what's really important distinction there, what is the president dissolving? We have a lot of agencies, as you know, you served in Congress. We have decades old, different missions, different programs that are unauthorized but are continuing to be funded because the mission is over. And they're going back and saying, why do we continue to fund these positions, these people, these that are not doing the job we need to do? But at the same time, what President Trump is doing is finding ways to make sure our military gets paid. This is really important. He went and found an $8 billion research and development fund to be sure that our military gets paid, because it's not fair that our military is not getting, they're going to work, they're keeping us safe, and they're also, by the way, the shutdown, having them unpaid, having them not investing in the readiness we need tomorrow, having them not investing in the technologies we need to counter our enemies. That is all being undermined and compromised by this shutdown because, number one, we're in a Democrat continuing resolution dispute. This is their funding level. But also, President Trump has gone and found other creative ways, like using the tariff money to actually fund the WIC program. So truly poor, women and women with children are able to get the milk and the food that they need to keep their children going. The Democrats don't care. It's all about cruelty and inflicting pain, and that's what Chuck Schumer is talking about. We'll continue to inflict pain, and they'll have to give in. But Trump's finding ways to actually protect the American people, to protect and respect the taxpayers, the truly needy people in our communities, and especially our military. And yet we heard this morning that potentially some of the Democrats are thinking about suing the president so he can't get our troops paid because they want to continue to inflict pain so they can provide Medicaid at unconscionable levels to people who don't earn it and deserve it. And just a fact, Jody, 8 million people in the state of New York are on Medicaid or on what we call the essential plan, which is extended Medicaid, and only 5 million are eligible. So that's compromising the people that are actually truly needy. They are the people that are truly needy. We're trying to help them.
Congresswoman, thank you so much.